I am Anna Oudhof, and I'm quite, I think, a hands-on designer. And I work a lot with metal right now. I really like metals. Right now from Milestones, I brought my project artifacts and boilers, and I work with a lot of scrap metal and glass blowing. And yeah, I'm, as I said, quite hands-on and intuitive, so there's not a lot of calculation behind the stuff that I make. It's quite, yeah, I like to experiment. So just to get into a workshop and start working on it and then see what comes out. I love metal parts, and then the especially for copper, it's a very antique kind of look. So at one point I was on a scrapyard and I found like a big kettle, an old boiler, and just the form, the color, just very beautiful. So I started out with boilers, and since it was just an old boiler, I very simply just had a boiler, a plasma cutter, cut some holes out for the glass to like pop out, and then I tried to find as many different boilers as possible. But at one point you're a bit stuck because you don't have a limitless amount of shapes. So I really wanted to create a shape that was a bit more my own, since my fascinations lie with nature and light, for instance, and I really like organic shapes. And a boiler is quite industrial, which I also like, but the natural forms I think fit me more as a maker. So then I tried to make the copper boiler a bit more of my own shape, a bit more organic, and I did that by taking the copper boilers apart and putting them back together. And all of that has been quite an experiment, because also at the beginning when I did the copper boiler, the glass blower told me that it wouldn't work since the shrinking percentage of the glass and the copper is different. The copper would shrink more than the glass inside, so it would eventually break, but it didn't. And then the question when that all worked, I really wanted to make my own shape. The question was if it would be too thick if I put 2 layers on top of each other, or 3, or this or that. So I tried and it did work, and then when that worked, I knew that I could make the shapes way more my own. As I said, I really like organic forms, but I also really love industrial forms. So I'm very interested, or I'm fascinated by industrial parts. It's just that I am not a very clean industrial designer. So in that way, all these little like parts and things or materials that I find, I try to then kind of copy into my own work, which is way more organic. I don't glass blow it myself, but I have someone that does it for me. And he's been working with this craft for like over 30 years. I think it's very interesting as a young designer to be put or to work together with someone that is really a craftsman, because then you can challenge the craftsman and he can tell you to calm down, or like that's not gonna work. But it's the best if you just experiment and try out. That's also how this project came to be. And every time it's been like, yeah, but this is not gonna be possible, or not, no, but this is really not gonna be possible. And it's been possible. So I feel there's still really a limit to reach. I think there's still within this project a lot that I want to try out. Now I've done the patina, now I wanted to try the copper plating. I would love to maybe try another metal or a different material. But it's true that you're out of school and you had everything at your disposal, and you kind of don't realize until you're out of school, because I use machines like a acetylene torch or like a plasma cutter, and then you're out of school and you have to, get them yourself, plus a workspace. Luckily I had a workspace, but then you try to kind of connect all of these machines, and that's been going quite well. So now I have my full functioning workspace, which I think is very liberating, because then you can just do things. You can just start making these things. But yeah, that was one of the biggest things, getting out of school and you really wanting to start your practice, but yeah, you need a space, you need your materials, and then you in the beginning just have to invest into yourself and get all of those to really start making. A dream of mine is to actually do more exposition work rather than making collectibles. because I think art and design is something that I, from young on, really enjoyed, and I love it to be accessible. So the things that we make, they're luxury objects that I try to sell, and I enjoy making them. But one thing that I almost enjoy even more is making, for instance, installation work that people, immersive installations that people can like get into, and they do have to do a lot about light. Sometimes it's also nice to have a conversation with people and tell them like, hey, it's actually like copper, it's actually old copper, and they think like, ah, okay, cool.
But I'm fascinated to know that